Hello there. Welcome to Crying Cowboys Productions, the holiday edition. Today, I'm on the journey to find love. The definition. According to the World Wide Web, love is an intense feeling of deep connection. An intense feeling of deep connection. Sure, that's valid, but let's say you had an intense feeling of deep connection over, tripping people. That's a bad example. But what if that was your thing? I guess you'd have a love of that. Maybe it is a good definition. But more specifically, I'm looking at the deep connection between love and Christmas. Because why in the world would we all travel so far, maybe not that far, but either way, to all go to these things that we end up complaining about, but we still go? Could it be love? I don't know. That's what I'm here to find out. How do I look? Pretty solid? Lovable, would you say? Because I think it's interesting, you know? Is it because it's the end of the year? Is it because it's cold? Is it because of all these things? You know, I don't have the answers. I don't know. There's a song by the Carpenters that reads, "It's that time of year when the world falls in love. Every song you hear seems to say, 'Merry Christmas. May your New Year dreams come true.'" You know, something about Christmas and love, and I'm sorry if you're over the holidays. But too bad, you know? Do this for me. Just watch the video, please. Send it to a friend. I'd really appreciate that, actually, as a Christmas gift to me. But I think this will be really fun. Yay! Welcome to love. Defined.
Love is finding your soul finding its counterpoint in another.
Wow.
That's right out of Wedding Crashers.
That was what your dad did all the time back then.
Oh my gosh, I love to blinking lights. I'll go in front of them. Okay. Is Copperbar down there?
And of course, she was freaking out, but I was like, I wasn't freaking out because, heck, she was wanting to send her friend to me to see if I wanted to ask her out.
It was her idea. And he was hot. So hot. I gotta get an old picture too.
Yeah.
What'd you ask me?
Rafferty's for chicken fingers.
Hot fingers.
Hot fingers and fries at Rafferty's on the patio.
And then what was our first real date?
Star Wars. And she comes by with a couple of tickets to Star Wars.
And I threw it out the window because I was so nervous.
She was talking. I probably said, well, shit, you can delete that if you need to. But I was like, I'm going. I went. And then,
I came in my sweatshirt and sweatpants and glasses and everything just to show him what I would look like.
Oh,
you know.
our first date. No. When was the time that I picked you up? We rode around town.
That was our first real date, just us, nobody else, no friends, because our friends came with us to the Star Wars thing. So our first real date was the third date that we.
Yeah, I told her I loved her on the third date. It was our third time getting together.
Was it the pizza date? Yeah, I think so.
I think it might have been. So I told her, our first kiss has to be outside.
Under the stars, because it was from some movie, right?
Fandango.
There you go. Yeah.
The first date
I remember it.
I guess it was to Royal Oak.
Yes.
But we had become very good friends before that.
Mm-hmm.
What was the question?
What'd you do? What did you do on the first date?
So we were really, really good friends. In fact, I remember what I wore. I wore kind of those caramel colored velvet pants
what she wears.
and this black turtleneck. We knew each other really well. It was almost like it was deeper than a first date because I think with where we were in our lives, we were going on this first date, but we really knew each other well and were connected in a deep friendship.
Plus, we weren't ready to let people know we were dating.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we ran into a bunch of people we knew at the restaurant. So
I know.
It kind of blew our cover.
Yes.
I knew pretty quickly. But I think she was in love with me first.
Gosh, when I really first knew that I was in love, really probably more in when we were becoming really good friends. You know, I started to really see, wow, this is someone. So I think I was really falling in love with Mark then.
It could have been when I left the flashlights on the porch during the power outage.
It might have even, you know when it could have been, was that Labor Day weekend in September.
Right.
It might have been then when I started to know that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I think we need a shot for this interview.
I agree.
I'm sweating. Being really happy with someone else and caring about them unconditionally.
That's good. I don't know if it would be the same moment, but sometime towards the end of our senior year of college, I think she had not gotten a job that she was thinking she might get and was really upset about it. And I realized how much I cared about her when she was upset about that. And
Good memory.
that was basically when I realized I knew that I loved her. So there's that.
Just the endearing feeling of someone. You think about someone and you just kind of get warmzy on the inside, and it doesn't even have to be romantic. Like, if you think of someone that you have just such a deep bond with, a deep connection with, and just thinking back on memories and fun times that you've shared, and you just get like this warm hug as a feeling. I think that's some warm hug. That's what it feels like, love.
I'm just 87 almost, 88 almost. And I'm not sure I can tell you about my first date because I was 16. I was downtown and I was walking. My father was the banker in the town called People's Bank. And I was walking out of the bank after we had just moved there. And he was sitting in a car 2 doors down. 2 doors down. And he was with a friend of his and he said, "Who is that girl?" And he said, "Oh, you don't know? It's Mr. Parker's daughter, and they have just moved into town." And he said, "I'll be meeting her soon." Now, we did break up once between my sophomore and junior year, and because he had said something that... Of college, yes. The first year we still wrote all the time and talked to each other and what have you. But we both had decided that if we wanted to date, we could. So then we came back that summer and I found out that he was pinned to another girl. And he kept calling and wanting to go out. And I said, "I will not go out with you again until you've gotten your pin back." That was probably in May or June. And the next April, he asked, we both were graduating, and he asked if I would marry him, and I did. And we got married in August of that. This was April, and we got married in August.
He is the most loyal, loving. It's like loyally loving. It's to know Lex Lindsay and to be in his inner circle is like one of the greatest gifts God's ever given me. I'm sure people think they know what love is, but I think you don't really know what love is unless you are a Christian. Like you understand that to sacrifice your entire being for someone else, but to be able to say Merry Christmas, I think that's like the origin of love. And I think to say, I'm not going to be that way anymore. I'm going to give my child for you. Here's what love is.
Everybody's together, brings back all kinds of memories, and everybody loves those memories.
Because Christmas is a season about giving, and I think also for us from that spiritual perspective, it's the greatest gift of love that God our Father gave us in Jesus. And so I do think there's something that exudes about, it's such a significant time, and it's a time where you give love to those that you really, really care about. Family, romantically, spouses, even with friends. It's such a spirit of love and light.
Everything we have in the house that is Christmas, our trees, our clothing reminds you of Christmas. Every time I look at the tree, and the star on top of the tree is one that he made out of Reynolds wrap. And every year we've saved it and put it on the top of the tree. And so many ornaments. Our tree is loaded with ornaments that we've made and people have given to us, and they all mean something special. And it just makes you love Christmas even more. When the next Christmas season, probably the 1st of December, rolled around, I looked everywhere and could not find my recipe. Finally told Doug, and that's what I call him. His name was W.G. or William Gladstone, and I called him Doug for W. I said, I cannot find that recipe anywhere, and I can only remember a few little things. And he said, that's all right, I'll take care of it. And unbeknownst to me, he wrote McCall's, and even more astonishing was that McCall's wrote him back. And I have that letter, and it says that they're so pleased that he enjoyed their roast, and here is the recipe for it. And they sent him the recipe, and he came in when he got it, and he was laughing, and he said, look, I've got your Christmas present. And it was the letter from McCall's, and it was just wonderful. That is one thing, to listen to what one has to say and remember what one has to say, because that probably is the most important thing about loving someone.
Time of year when the world falls in love, every song you hear seems to say Merry Christmas.
Listening. I think really that person that listens to you, and I think the other piece too is where you just feel so comfortable no matter what you're doing, kind of this peaceful togetherness and then laughter.
Well, I was going to say, communication is number one. And always know you give more than 50%.
90-90.
Go to bed, bang, yeah, get it no matter what.
80% she gets 90%.
When did you realize you were in love?
I think Mom was love at first sight.
First time when I saw her eyes. That was the first time I saw her.
But I mean,
Her eyes were just, her eyes that night. I don't know.
It's that time of year.
Little things matter more than you would think they would at the beginning.
Because you just operate differently when you're like considering like someone else's life too. Like, so I feel like you just everything, honestly. I don't have a very good answer, but honestly, like your whole life is fluid in like a good way.
This song of mine in 3/4 time wishes
We
you
loved each other through thick or through thin, death, and every other part of life.
Merry Christmas.